Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You might have noticed in a little sneak preview that Andy, unfortunately, has a black screen tonight. We're all a little sad. We're all a little devastated.
Got to pour one out from our homie.
We got to pour one out for our homie. He will just not make it. He'll be here next week, so it's not that big of a deal. But FYI, Andy won't be here with us today, so it's Ryan squared tonight. Welcome back to another Slightly Average Guys podcast. We're glad you're here. Please like, share, and follow. Subscribe. Do whatever you got to do. We appreciate you being here.
Yep, and nothing serious. Andy just decided that he was going to triple book himself between things that he had planned, things that his daughters had planned, and then this show. So obviously we took a backseat to his family, which is rightfully so. And all right, well, we will belittle him as much as possible outside of the public eye, just so that way we don't get belittled. All right, let's jump into the first topic here. And I just think that it's kind of a follow-up to last week, because one of the things that we talked about was stupid or dumb moments that we've had in the past. And Ryan, you didn't really have one. I mean, you kind of sort of had one, but it really wasn't that dumb. And you said you've since didn't necessarily think of one. You actually had one in the last week's time.
I had one. And this is karma. I don't know if that's even the right word to use. This is, you know how when you talk about something, it happens?
Yep.
And then you start seeing it all over the place. We talked about it. I realized something, and I did it wasn't just me. It was Corey and I combined, but it was just really, really dumb. A little bit of backstory. Everybody should know by now, Corey and I are engaged and soon to be married next year in December. Well, we're getting things set up for our wedding, okay? Mm-hmm. We're getting invites sent out. We're getting our website set up and ready to go. We're writing down all these names and addresses, right? Well, on this freaking guest list, man, we got like 150, 180 people on this guest list.
Yep, gets up there.
Damn, we need 150, 180 invitations.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
No.
Well, no, technically not, because it's everybody plus one. It's yeah. So you bought too many is what you're trying to say.
Some invitations have 5, 4, 3, 2 people on it. You know what I mean? It just depends on whether it's a family, whether it's a couple, whether it's a couple plus a kid or something like that.
That's true.
My gosh.
I didn't remember putting that much thought into it, but now that you're speaking of it, like, we actually did. And I think we might have done it by coming up with, we printed address labels for everything, and that's how we knew the exact number of things that we were going to purchase.
But it was just so dumb. You're not, when you invite people to a wedding, you're not thinking of couples and then you'll just times that by 2. You're thinking of actual people. Physical people that are going to be occupying a room.
That's true. So I mean, it's not as dumb as you think.
But it's dumb after the fact, because we spent $150 on these damn invitations that look great, by the way. Shout out to Corey, who did all of them. So she did really good work. But we could have spent like $60, $70.
You're like, we have enough left over to really have some sentimental value for other things that were going to be happening in the future. That
is exactly what she said. She goes, well, at least we have extras to post and frame around the house.
You're literally going to end up with like wallpaper everywhere.
We're just going to start handing them to homeless people and see if they attend our wedding.
Like, hey, you want to come? You want to come? Where is it? Oh, it's not in the country? Oh,
no. Not in the country.
What do we do now? I don't know. You could still be invited.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe this might help the homeless population.
Oh, that's true. You know, if you give them enough of them, they could stuff them in their sleeves so that way they don't get cold. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, they just go to Punta Cana and never come back.
Okay, I get you. I mean, I've said it all along. At one point in time, I was like, if I was truly homeless in like the Midwest somewhere where it was like super cold all the time, I was like, I'd probably try to rob a bank, because either I get away with it and I have money, or I'm going to a small prison that at least it's warm and I get 3 meals a day.
Yeah? Is that what you do?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I first would probably try to get my butt to a warm place like Arizona or California, but
I'd probably just chill on a street and never try again, you know?
just panhandle.
Yeah, I mean that's logistically smarter, right?
I mean, in a warmer climate, yeah, but like not where it's like 10 below.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like we've gotten off topic, but you're dumb.
I just felt really dumb.
Yeah,
both Corey and I did.
I mean, like personally, I'm just not seeing it as dumb as what you. Well, now the fact that you got all the way through buying them, yeah, okay, I'll give you more of a dumb moment on that factor, just because you went so far into it before you realized. Because the spreadsheet that I sent you with all the addresses and stuff, like I got like 5 or 6 different spreadsheets with all. Because then the next thing you're going to start to get into is, okay, once people do RSVP, and then it's like, okay, now we do have this many people. And I don't know if you're going to have this problem because of where it's at, but like we had to put people at tables, and you can't put this person around that person, and then these people around those people, and then this person's going to get butthurt if they're in the back and not in the front. And it's just like.
So I don't think we're doing any seating arrangements. We are doing seating arrangements. Okay, I take that back. I didn't think we were, but apparently we are. But we have to bring the seating chart to them, okay. So we don't just tell them. But yeah, I guess we'll have to do that as well.
And that's just the most annoying part, because as guys, no guy is going to be butthurt by anything. They're like, I already got invited. I paid here to be here. I'm not part of the wedding party, so I'm assuming that I'm not going to be at the party table, So it's just like, as long as I got some other place to sit and you're going to feed me and have some drinks. Okay, cool, great.
Yeah.
It's overthought by a long shot.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the first stage, right? We haven't even sent out the invitations yet, so we got a long way to go.
Yep. You got a whole bunch of stuff that you got to jump through and do, but
just felt really dumb.
There's another dumb thing that we want to talk about, but rather than flowing from this one into that one, let's put a fantasy football update in the middle of it. Andy's not here. He's the other fantasy guy. I normally play, but haven't been playing these last 2 years. I probably should have, because you could actually sign up for DraftKings now because it's legal to do the betting. So I'm not doing it, but let's get an update from you on where actually you are at in your current league.
Well, I'm winning my division. So there's 10 people. Out of those 10 people, there's 2 divisions. I'm winning one of the divisions, which is good.
Yeah.
But I'm getting lucky. I wasn't getting lucky at first. I dominated people. I was 4-0. But the past 2 games, like I said, if you don't score 100 points, you're probably going to lose. That's a bad sign. I won 92-97. Barely. I wasn't even supposed to win. I wasn't projected to at all. It's just his team sucked.
Yep.
And then this week as well, I was projected to lose by like 20. My quarterback gets me 1 point, less than 1 point, 0.6. Thank you, Matt Ryan, for doing a wonderful job at your job.
Man,
and
I don't even know how. Well, it depends. There's different types.
0.68.
There's different types of scoring, right? There's like points per reception, points per carry. There's different ways to.
Let's just say he threw 2 interceptions and got sacked a whole bunch of times for negative yards.
Yeah, not very good. Not helping you, doing you any favors. That's for sure.
Not at all. And anyways, I got lucky on that one too, and I won 102-100 by 2 points. And so it puts me at a 7-3 position, and the next guy up is like 5-4 or something like that, or 5-5. I don't know. I have to look at it again because I forget. But anyways, I've just been getting really lucky. But the one thing that's really pissing me off right now about fantasy is everybody's so skeptical about trading.
Oh yeah.
Am I getting a good deal?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to trade this person because what if he goes off?
Mm-hmm.
What if this? Well, I mean, it's all a gamble anyways.
For non-fantasy people, for non-football people that may be listening, right? Like the only thing that I can equate trading to in fantasy is trying to trade people properties or money in freaking Monopoly. Like legitimately, it is that ridiculous on exactly how things happen.
Exactly how it is.
Yes.
There's this one guy there's this one guy in our fantasy. He is last place. I don't even know him really. I met him once at our draft party. He is clearly over it. Does not care at all. Mm-hmm. For 3 weeks in a row, he's had a free agent in his starting lineup, meaning his free agent is not playing for a team. 2 weeks in a row, he had two players. One player each week on a bye week. So there's two players for the past 2 weeks that have not gotten him any points, and he could have just switched out. I ask for his running back. He declines it. Dude, you don't even care about this. Like, give me your running back. Yep. I'll give you my best quarterback at this point. I don't care. I can pick up any quarterback. They're all going to do the same thing. Well, like, it's just... it's so
not
frustrating.
It's not just the craziness that happens with people being skeptical of trades. It's also when you're winning, nobody wants to trade you because everybody else is making the deals because nobody wants to see you get that much further ahead. Even the people that are grossly losing,
but the guy that's in first place, he's 9-1. He has not lost but one game. So if anything, they shouldn't be trading with him.
Yeah.
And I'm in technically second place at 7-3. There's some 6-4 and then 5-5 guys. But it's just like, it is so difficult to trade with people because, you really want somebody. Well, guess what? They really want one of your guys. And guess what? He's not a bad person that's on the injured reserve list. He's your top player.
Yep, exactly.
So without being like super analytical about it, it's just like, really, really hard to trade. You gave the perfect example, Ryan. Perfect example.
Yeah, it's totally like Monopoly, and McLovin and Roger have joined us in the chat. We appreciate you guys being here, listening to us. The only other thing that I ever was successful at was starting to just, I stopped trying to even trade with people because like it was always like the only trades that you could ever go through were so upside down that didn't make any sense at all, and it was like
they're not in your favor.
Yeah, and I would still do it. Like I think I did one and it didn't harm me, but it didn't help me either, and it was like so risky. I really, really didn't want to go out on the limb in order to try to do it. But one of the things that I always did was just do I don't know if your league does this, but we had the waiver wire, so like you literally go and pick up anybody that was just total free agents sitting out there, and I would always just be nonstop watching that one, and I never looked up any stats on those people. I always did a whole bunch of stats prior to doing the draft. And then after that, it was all a feeling on who I felt like I should just go grab. And it always benefited me really, really well. That was the only way I always had extra people, to go out and actually play.
Flip-flopping all the time on the people who are available on different teams, all the time. So I'm trying to move around my team. I'm trying to be the best GM as possible for my fantasy. It's just difficult. I couldn't even imagine people doing this in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. So
well, it's easy in real life. I'll give you $5 million for him.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. In the real world.
Done.
The money means something, and it's kind of like, playing Modern Warfare or whatever. It's like, I'm just going to go kamikaze and try to get these people. Oh, I died. Oh, well, it's not that big a deal. But when it's real life, it's completely different. Tom in the chat, he said from his experience, there's always that one guy that's in last place that makes a deal with whoever is trying to push for first. And then they stack the teams with trades with bad teams. Right. And I would totally agree
that's very
with that.
right, Tom, because right now in my league, I'm not the oddball out, but I don't know as many people as well as everybody else does. So I text this guy and I'm like, yo, give me Leonard Fournette. Give him to me, baby. And he's like, he just declined instantly as soon as I said trade. He's like, fuck that. Yeah. Because he could be trading with somebody else right now. And it would be like, oh, no, I'm going to help him stack his team because I want him to win $900 instead of you. I don't even know you.
Yep. And then, you may try the Monopoly thing that I was always telling you about, which was, hey, go out and figure out who, the other person wants and go. It's kind of like when you watch the movie Moneyball, where he's like, all right, I'm going to go get this guy from that team because I know you want him because I want that person. So I'll trade you this person that I've now got from that. And you're just shuffling everything around, but now you have something to trade with that person because you know they totally want this one. So it's like, go after something. But the problem is that it's just a good person, right? Like, just doesn't matter if it's wide receiver, quarterback, anything else. It just doesn't work out the greatest.
It's always going to be a good person. Someone is always, it's not going to be an even trade. Someone's always going to get butt hurt.
Yep. And
that's why people don't trade.
We played with an individual that we worked with who his big thing was always getting two major quarterbacks. I mean, he would have been like, I think the one year he got Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. And it was like the most annoying thing ever because it was like, who does that? Because what we played PBR, anyway.
PP,
yep.
PPR,
yeah. So
per reception.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying not to cough my larynx up right now. Apologize.
Trying not to say bad words on live.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So. The quarterback really wasn't that big of a deal, so it didn't really hurt anybody. But it was like, just what is your strategy? I don't get your It was so he was the guy. Then somebody would ultimately have their person get hurt, and there was like no quarterbacks that were like first string quarterbacks. Like you were only left with third, as a backup. And it was like, hey, will you just please trade me this person, and I'll like you can have anybody else on my team. I at least need a quarterback to at least score me a few points. And nope. And it was like, man, come on. Like that was
that's why you pick two quarterbacks like that, so you can have the advantage later on. And he still said no.
Yeah, well, his thing was, well, my advantage is that I knew somebody was going to do that. It's like, yeah, but that person's not in first. See, you're in like third. That person's in seventh. They have no chance of winning the league. They just want to try to not be last. They want to play with the middle of the field. Right?
Yes. So one thing that I do kind of have going for me is somebody texted the group and said, hey, I'm looking for a wide receiver. I'm in dire need of a running back. And that's something that I'm going to learn for next year is running backs, because they get injured the most, right? Yep. They have the most contact. They have the most physical impact. And so they get injured more often. And that's what I'm struggling to get right now. But luckily some guy was like, hey, I'm looking for a wide receiver. Boom. I'd be interested if you could give me a running back. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there's no real running back that I want from his team, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So at least it's looking up. Somebody messaged the group chat for the first time this year and wanted to trade somebody.
Ooh. So that
Things are looking up.
That was a good benefit. So, all right. So you are essentially not killing it, but you're up there. McLovin's in the chat. She's saying that she's second at her work league, and the dudes are so angry, which is hilarious. That's why everybody was always so mad whenever I was winning too. Mostly because like I'm a sports guy where like I'll watch like the Colts and the Cardinals, and like that's it because those are the two cities or state teams that I've lived in, so I'll just rep them. But I'm not a hardcore sports person. But I'd always win in fantasy just because I don't know, whatever my strategy was, I had a better strategy. I won like 2 years in a row, and then they all started making packs to make sure that I didn't win, and that was some BS. It was Anyway.
Oh, that is some BS.
Yeah. One year, one of the guys, that guy that got two quarterbacks, he won. But I think that was a pick'em league because we were doing a pick'em league and fantasy. So anyway, so I can feel McLovin on everybody else throwing some shade at your way, and it just feels good. Feels good. All right, last topic for this show, and we talked about dumb moments last week. You mentioned a dumb moment that you've had this week. Let's talk about dumb things that you've spent your adult money on, right? And we were talking a little bit in the pre-show about this, and essentially, right, there are two different levels of dumb, stuff. Like instantly my mind goes to $1,000 or more of spending your adult money. Like, cause that adult money to me means $1,000 or more, not lower.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And then you have under. So I think I have stuff for both. And my one for $1,000 or more is Ryan was kind of surprised by it. I said, it's the house that I live in. And for everybody that's listening, I do not live in a lavish house. I don't live in Scottsdale. which is the rich area. I live in an older neighborhood. My house was built in like 76 or 78, something like that. So older home, everything. So again, it's not that I've overspent on it. It's just like
Yeah, you actually got it for a really nice price
Yeah.
comparatively to the market.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's gone up in value by a ton, which I'm happy with. But I'm like, I have no reason to be tied to it. Just society says that you have to have a house, right? I would much rather live in an RV right now and be traveling around. I work 100% remote, so I can do whatever I want to do wherever I want to do it, which is great. And I kind of just hate being tied to one place. So my kid's younger. He's not in school yet. He's not in, a spot where he's doing sports or anything. So it would work out great for me to just literally do whatever I want from whenever I want. I was like, hey, let's just go be in Flagstaff for a week. Let's go to California for a week or a month, right? Like that just seems like really cool to me to not be tied down, because it's just not the white house with a picket fence and front porch and yada 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 that you've been taught your whole entire life. So you're in the phase of looking for a house, right? Because you're
we're pretty antsy.
Yeah. So you're getting married. Now, I understand from your side of things, you're in a different spot. I know how you feel, because I hate apartments / condos. And that's where you live, is in a big condominium.
And this bitch is small.
Yeah. And it's small. Like, and I just hate being around people. So I've always, whether I've owned a house or rented houses, I have not lived in an apartment since I was like 7 or something like that. Because I lived through that part of my life. I don't ever want to do that again. So I understand why you're leaving. But you recently ran into somebody and started talking about an RV, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And it surprised me. I'm not going to say all the backstory because it's kind of long to get the backstory, but ultimately I found out that they are doing what we had talked about previously, and what I guess both looked into. Mm-hmm. But they love it. I mean, but they were in a different place, right? They were from California. They were talking about all the craziness there, mm-hmm. Not only taxes, cost of living, restrictions, just the way of living in California. I don't know all of it because I don't live there, but they sold their house. They sold their properties there, mm-hmm. and they got this massive RV, and they've just been traveling. They said they just came down from North Dakota. They were in North Carolina last time as well, and they're now in Mesa. And I'm like, that seems really cool. Mm-hmm. But buying an RV is great. You can get a very luxurious RV for half the cost of a house, almost, or the same cost of a house. Depends on how luxurious you want it to be. But they still pay $1,200, $1,200 to park that sucker.
Mm-hmm. Which
to me is just insane.
Yeah, which I found out like 6 months ago when we were, shooting around this idea, and I looked it up and I was like, my mind instantly was like, I need to buy an RV park, because this thing is a cash cow if that is exactly what's happening. And it is. It's like literally that.
Like in this place though, you have hookups, mm-hmm. you have electric, like you are set. You got
there's a shared internet, that everybody can hook to,
and they have to maintain that stuff, right? Like the dumps or the sewage that mm-hmm. everything goes in, they have to maintain that. They have to take out the trash, water, bathrooms are there, showers, right? All that stuff. So I could imagine why it could get up to $1,200, but it's like that is the cost of rent.
Yeah.
So not only did you buy a house, but you still throw money down the drain. It's like you're basically paying an HOA fee.
Yeah, HOA, but the only difference is you can be wherever you want to be. You pick up and move, right? And not knowing that that's just a hard set cost. Like if you're trying to look for something that has 0, then it's literally moving to the middle of the woods on somebody else's land where you're there illegally. Like that's the only option. There's no net 0 option. Now, something's always going to cost you money. So it's like saying, really, okay, for $1,200 a month, would you rather be able to pick up and go and change the scenery and your whole house is moving with you, right? And make it super easy and everything's just there. And you're already used to a small area. So like, that's where it's like, okay, well, you've made mention before that, yeah, you guys really wish there was one more room, right? There's that one more room that would really kind of really be nice, especially for things like this, right? You'd be able to have all that set up in a
Oh
spare
yeah,
bedroom like I am here.
yeah. Corey's watching TV behind me.
Yep. So it'd be really nice from that standpoint. But if you didn't have all the crappy neighbors that were around you, you'd probably be like, we would, it wouldn't be as pushed to get out of this place as we are right this second.
And I don't know this, but I wonder how long you have to be at a park like that. Do you honestly just pick up and go? Like, do you set a schedule and call 3 months in advance and say, hey, I'm only going to be here for a week? Do you sign a 6-month contract? Do you sign a year contract? Like,
Now,
how does this stuff work?
It's the exact same as like camping sites. So if you want to
reservations.
Yep, reservations, because you want to make sure that it's there. All of them have usually a place that you can just come up, first come first serve. But if you're going to be there for like 30 days, you usually are going to get a discount. So you call ahead. Hey, I'm going to definitely be there. Yes, all right. Give me a 20% deposit. Make sure that it holds, and then you're going to pay the balance once you get here. And you're here for the 30 days, right? It's all yours. You can come and go as much as you want. Doesn't matter. That spot's going to sit empty if you move your RV out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
or by a week.
Wait.
But there's no long-term contracts or anything like that.
Yeah. No, you don't sign up and pay your first and last month's rent.
Nope.
Huh?
nope, nothing like that. Because if you're gonna ruin the place that you're at,
bullshit.
hey, it's the house that you live in because it's the thing you drove there.
I mean, it's really easy to do one when you're younger and you don't have any kids, and it's really easy to do, really, really easy to do when you're older and your kids are out of the house if you really want to.
Yep.
Right. But I think the biggest reason why we probably wouldn't do that is because we wouldn't want to go anywhere. Yeah, we would want to go somewhere, but only for like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. Just because we have a lot of friends in the area, right? We hang out with people all the time. So being able to pick up and move isn't necessarily something that is a focus, right? It'd be amazing, like you're saying. It'd be super awesome to be able to do that. But at what expense? Because then you're traveling so much and you're driving, and you're not necessarily going somewhere to stay there for a month. You're going there to stay for a long weekend and then just driving back.
Yeah. Like the thing that comes to mind is you've made some long trips, right? Like I think it's a week or whatever where you've left and that you've gone and traveled around to different national parks and stuff like Glacier and everything else. And when you come back and tell those stories, they sound really cool, but you also kind of sound rushed at the same time. And it's like, wouldn't it be really cool if you spent a month doing that, right? And maybe that's really the truthful thing. Like, I think it'd be a really cool use case if I were to do it with my family and you were to do it with you and Corey and the dog and the cat, which is hilarious, for like 30 days, right? And I'm not saying we go to the same place, but like literally you plan out something. Like, I know she's a teacher, so she gets off, in the summertime and stuff. You're working remotely right now. Like, it would just be like really cool to like do that for like 30 days and just be like, what would I do? You have this time to plan it out, save up, and it's essentially a vacation, but you're still working the whole time just to see what it would be like and be like, do you hate this? Or would there be something that like out of the blue is like, I freaking love this, right? Like, it'd just be interesting to see where your mind would be at the end.
That sounds awesome. And we should not do it to the extreme at 30 days, but we should start with like at least like 2 weeks.
Yeah. I think it's got to be
amazing.
I think it's got to be a minimum of 2 weeks, so that way it doesn't just feel like vacation. Because a week is always just a week.
Yeah, a week is like that's a solid vacation, but 2 weeks, like that's a stay.
Yeah, because like I feel like a week, you'd still be living out of a suitcase in most places that you go. It's like, oh, who cares? But 2 weeks, it's like, all right, that's too long to live out of a suitcase. You got to put stuff up, type of thing.
Yeah, you got to do laundry.
Yep. And
you gotta do dishes.
Roger's in the chat. He's like, you could park at a Walmart parking lot. That's actually not that much of a joke. I follow this guy online that literally talks about he lives in a van and he's a graphic artist and stuff, and like parks at Walmart parking lots all the time. And he's like, hey, that's what I do. I can go inside, get my stuff because I don't have a lot of storage, so I go inside, buy my groceries, I stay there for the night, and get up in the morning and take off and go. Right? Because you're allowed to, because they a lot of them like that type of thing. So depending upon where you're at, you wouldn't want to do that for like a week, obviously. But if you're in between driving someplace, it would work out.
I ever? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Did I ever tell you guys about the story where I did park in Walmart parking lots to take a nap.
No,
Did I ever talk?
no.
Random side story, not relative towards moving vans, RV, all that good stuff. Just relative towards me in high school, and my mom over the
Oh, you
summer
did
paid
tell
for me
this
to do
story.
the summer camp.
Yeah, you did that. This was like episode like 10. You talked about how like instead of going, you just go in a Walmart parking lot and sleep.
Yeah, I was like, man, beep this. Like, I'm not going to 2-a-day practices starting at 5 in the morning. Like, I literally said, all right, Mom, I'll be back heading to practice. I go sleep in a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah. I mean, that just works out. I mean, I'm not hating on you for it. Like I would have probably done the same thing.
Yeah.
Somebody
Does Target allow that though? Because fuck Walmart.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's only Walmart. But anyway, it's just funny that, you know, back in the day, you know, there was an SNL skit that I think everybody knows about, Chris Farley, that's like, if you don't do blah blah blah, you'll be living in a van down by the river. And it's like, that sounds like the best. That sounds like an amazing experience now. Like, I don't why did we all put that down? Now all of a sudden, like, everybody wants to do that. They want to buy a plot of land in the middle of nowhere and just go off to it, which I've looked for the last year and nothing is cheap enough to buy.
That is the experience that people want right now. Mm-hmm. Look at all of these Sprinter vans. Mm-hmm. I mean, to that extent, they're doing that, right?
Yep.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. So a lot of different stuff to think about, but what like, I know we've now stayed on that topic of the home for a longer period of time than I wanted to, but I don't think you said that there is really a dumb one for adult spending that's $1,000 or more, right? You're like, my car, it could be a cheaper car, but like, it's really nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean, like my PC, I bought that for over $1,000, but I use it. I'm using it right now for this, right? This is great.
And you're using it for mining. You're using it for multiple different things, you know. So I feel like that's not.
Corey uses it to make the wedding invitations. Corey uses it for her wedding photo editing as well. So it's definitely worth it. The only thing like I can think of when I was younger, like I bought this electric guitar that's sitting right in front of me. I didn't need that.
Yeah. But again, as a kid, when you had disposable money and you had no real bills, like it was easy to spend money on just dumb stuff that seemed great at the time. But like, what about, let's say under $1,000? It could be anything. It'd be something $10 or more. Like, what's something recently that you've bought that's just stupid?
It wasn't recent, but I was in dire. I live in Phoenix. We live in Phoenix. It's hot, and I didn't have really shorts. Not basketball shorts, but like just normal shorts that you'd go golfing in or go to church in or whatnot. I didn't have any of those shorts. I was like in dire need of them. And I was trying to find some comfy ones. And so I'm desperate at this point. I go to woot.com and I'm like, oh, there's shorts right here. They have a nice little anchor print on them. I'll just get these little guys. They look cute. Look at these. And, they were the worst shorts ever. I get them. These suckers are made out of the thickest damn material you've ever seen. They look ugly because they have this stupid print on them. Mm-hmm. They came with a rope belt. You know, the rope belts that you don't actually like have the buckle that goes through the thing.
Yeah.
You just put it and wrap it around. It had a rope belt. I'm pretty sure that's in these days, right?
Oh, totally. You know, it's not from the 90s at all.
It was so bad. Anyways, though, if you're looking for shorts, that's my low end dumb purchase. I instantly threw those away. Corey asked me, you don't want to return those? Not even worth it. These do not belong in the hands of anybody.
I don't want to give these to Goodwill. I don't want to see a homeless person these. I'm not going to do that to anybody.
Yeah, they were bad. But anyways, the shorts that I found, FYI, if anybody's looking for shorts, Kirkland, Costco. Kirkland has some great shorts. I'm wearing them right now. They're fab. Total fab.
I'm like you. I'm not a Walmart shopper because they are just a massive conglomerate. But I feel like I give so much money to Amazon. I didn't want to give them more money. I was getting ready to leave for a trip back to Indiana a couple of months ago. and needed desperately an extra pair of shorts because the one pair that I had was like getting kind of ratty, and I'm like, yeah, no, I need more than one pair. So looking all over, I went to like 3 different Kohl's, a bunch of different places. I couldn't find a single pair of shorts that were like anything decent. So I was
yeah.
whatever. I'll just like, there's a Walmart right next to this place. It's either this or nothing. Like Walmart had like a ton of nice shorts. I'm like, golf shorts, they had a ton of nice ones. They just had a whole bunch of different. I'm like, wow, blown away. And they were like $12. I was like, okay, this same pair at Kohl's was like 36. Like craziness. Anyway, for dumb other things that I've spent my adult money on, anything to do with cryptocurrency mining, I've gotten an obsession. It's gotten to be a problem.
So you're saying those are dumb purchases?
Those are dumb adult money purchases. They're really not when you think about it, because it's things that generate passive income. I don't have to do anything. So like the general society would say that they are completely asinine.
And some economists, I don't even know if that's the right word. The people who care about environmentalists, thank you.
There we go. Totally different than the economist.
Totally.
That's not where I thought you were going with it, but okay.
Yeah. Some of the I forgot the word I just
environmentalists.
said. Environmentalists might care as well, because they suck up a lot of power. Is just articles have been what I've been reading and stuff. Everybody doing that creates a lot of power.
Yep. Whatever. Everything's about power. Hey, all I know is there's a
power coin.
I've made $900 off of doing this, and I didn't have to do anything other than bleep blop bloop and press a button. So
Dunzo.
Yeah, it was all right. Works for me. Great. Moving on. Yep,
that'll all go towards Byron's anything he wants.
Yep. Exactly. It's just, things the kid wants. So all right, we've been on here long enough, trying to keep it to 30 minutes. So we appreciate everybody joining us this week. Without Andy, I think we held it down pretty good. Ryan, what do you think?
Solid. Ryan Squared duo can handle it.
Yeah, I think, we went over some topics that we talked about in the past, but they're always good to review, bring it back up, see how you're feeling. Maybe we'll do a challenge where, this summer we take 2 weeks and rent some RVs and go drive around and find out what we want to do.
We're going to be doing this from our phones.
Yes. Wait, when does SpaceX finally launch their full-blown satellite? That's not for like another year, right? Out of beta? Because the one they have right now,
it's in beta right now.
Yeah, I know, but you can't move it. Like, it has to be, like, if you move within like 30 meters of wherever your current place is, like, it kicks you off. So, but anyway, appreciate everybody joining us this week, and we will see everybody next week.